Hello. Okay, so be honest. How many of you have gone to Starbucks this morning? Or went and got a Big Mac at McDonald's? Or got whatever they wanted to eat or drink this morning? Well, I know I did. So, almost every morning for me too. That's why I like this quote from Lardner that says, "I've known what it is to be hungry, but I always went right to the restaurant." I love this quote because it relates to our society now and how easily accessible it is to go get food, to go get drinks, to go get whatever we want, whenever we want. And I'm going to talk to you today about the past, present, and the future. So with the past, getting food when we wanted, when we were kids, I used to cry all the time. I want food, I want food. And my mom would always get it for me. So it was easily accessible for me and free, which I love. And so as I got older, a little bit older, I started gaining some weight because I always had free food. I always got free food. And it was an awesome thing for me. I mean, who doesn't love food? And then I started, as I got older into high school and college, I had a job. And this is the present. I had a job and I started having to pay for my own food, my own rent, my own car, everything. So paying for my own food, I started losing a lot of weight. I lost 50 pounds. And so it was quite the difference because when you have all these options and they're very easily accessible, but they are a little less easier when you don't have enough money, I guess. So you see the difference from when you're a child and you can cry and get whatever you want, to when you're an adult and you have to actually budget and pay for what you want. And now I want to talk to you about the future and how when you buy food, you're not just buying food for yourself. You can go to restaurants, you can still go to all these places, but now you're buying food for families, for your pets, for your homes. You have to make it available to your children. So it's like the process is starting all over again. So the reason why I love this quote, "I've known what it is to be hungry, but I always went right to a restaurant," is because sometimes we think, oh yeah, I can just go there, I can just grab this when I want, when it's not so easily accessible to other places as it is for us, like as crying as a child, or having a job and being able to pay for your own food anytime, or in the future having a family and being able to cook and decide what you want. So thank you very much.
You're getting a name for thank you.
Not cool.
Yeah, just do it. My cousin bought one, but he was gonna go to the court, but the guy ended up retiring. So he didn't have to go to the court.
Are you sure?
I know you're
always
supposed to fight it.
I know you're supposed to
Always
show
fight
it.
it. There's always a chance.
You know what? I think it's wrong because I weigh 192 now. I was so wrong.
Like I'm
The wrong guy.
left-handed. Like he wrote that I was right-handed, but I was left-handed. It's totally completely different.
And my hair's not
Well, yeah,
black.
that's true.
Oh my
God.
That was my experience.
I wanted to do the second one. I was my boss said spice to the conversations.
No, that's a good one.
That's disgusting.
One step in a
What was
civilization.
the motorcycle cop?
Okay, Claire, the survey thing is a little problematic because it kind of starts and then it doesn't quite finish off, and then it's not really as well controlled as it should be. That's always that problem with the survey, that you're never sure how it's going to go. But it works okay for the topic that you're talking about, and you have a good transition to the point that you're trying to make and the quote that you're talking about. So I thought that worked out okay. The structure, look, it's a bit limited, it's kind of perfunctory, but we know how you are going to be talking about this, so that's okay. The examples, as a consequence, though, seem a little underdeveloped. I think the best one that you have is kind of that transition between the first and the second one, when you were a kid and you had everything and you maybe were a little bit chubby, and then when you were on your own and having to pay for food for yourself, you might, for instance, talk about, to make that a little bit more interesting, and something that students would probably be able to relate to. What did you discover about having to pay for food yourself? That you couldn't afford X, Y, and Z, that you still needed to eat, but you had to choose something else? Or did you choose more wisely? Or did you just choose less because the resources were not available to you? Are you on that top ramen diet, for instance, that so many college students seem to be following? Top ramen and mac and cheese are food staples for college students, right? You know, that sort of thing. All right. And of course, with the fast food, Taco Bell because it's cheap.
That's all, man.
All right. I thought your voice started off pretty effectively with a lot of energy. It did taper off a little bit about halfway through the presentation. Seemed like your energy dropped a bit, and maybe it's because you're changing the tone of what you're talking about. I thought it was very fluid while you were speaking. There were lots of good indicators and gestures while you're talking to us. Excellent audience contact. I think maybe your feet are a little bit more animated than you want them to be. Not too distracting, but probably you need to have a little bit more control over what's going on. And I thought there was a very nice, effective summary at the end of the speech. All right, thank you.